Let's talk about project 2. So project 1 is over. It's in the past. We've completed the midterm. We are crushing life. And now as we get into module 5 is my favorite module, all about finances. So we're talking about credit cards and mortgage loans and annuities and all that fun stuff. And this is where project 2 comes into play. So when you click into project 2, it's going to work very similarly to that of project 1. All right. So first, this financial student guide document, this is just a help document in words, right? A word, kind of what I'm doing now, but it's going to be kind of a step-by-step piece. So it might be helpful. It's got formulas in it. I'm not going to go over that, but that might be helpful for you. Okay. We do again have the Excel help video. So this will go through the Excel portion in a little more detail, what formulas you need, how's that going to look, all those fun things. Okay. The student template, when you click on that, you see this document. And this is, we're going to talk about this a little bit here in this video, but this is what comes up. You will notice that there are 24 colored boxes, green, blue, and this yellowy color. These are the only boxes that have to be filled in. If you do other work for different things, great. These are the boxes I am grading. Okay, just putting that out there. So you have that, it's already in there. And then we have the directions. So the top one, just like in project 1, that top piece are the directions. So we're going to spend a little bit of time today going over this project to make sure that you have a firm understanding so that you can hit the ground running with this and ask questions as they come up. So the basic idea of this project is that you are going to take your future self, whatever your goal is. So if you are in school to become a nurse or a dental hygienist or a paralegal or an astronaut or whatever it is you're going to do, you're going to assume that you are successful with that. Okay, so we are looking at future you compared to that of a high school graduate with kind of a minimum wage-ish job. Okay, I know plenty of high school graduates who make plenty of money that would blow up this project, but we're going to use two future you and kind of a static person that we're going to just define. And you're going to do a comparison of how does having this college degree and this different training allow you to earn more, and what does that mean in terms of a house, in terms of retirement, in terms of a monthly salary? How does that change things? Okay, so again, you are going to turn in a Word document and an Excel document. The Word document is where you will answer your questions, and the Excel document, again, is going to be that guide that I just showed, right? So you're going to fill this in, and we're going to go from there. Okay, so we're going to do the Excel spreadsheet. You're going to fill it out, and then you're going to answer the questions. Now, one thing that I will say, if we compare project 2 compared to project 1, project 2 should feel easier because you don't have to play that what if game you played in project 1. Remember in project 1 how you were changing numbers to answer questions? In project 2, you do the Excel document, and then the questions, you're just explaining what those numbers mean. So if you earn $80,000 a year, put that in a complete sentence. So you don't have to do any extra work. You complete the document and then you write your statements about it. Okay, the big thing that you may notice is that column F is about absolute change and column G is relative change. However, if you in your sentence say the absolute change is 40, you will not receive credit for that. No, because that doesn't tell me anything. If you go up to somebody and say the absolute change of is 20, they're going to look around and be like, what are you talking about? Now, if you go up to one of your friends and say, I have $20 more in my wallet today than I did yesterday, they know what you're talking about, and you just gave an absolute change statement. So for absolute change and for relative change, you need to describe what those numbers mean. The word absolute, the word relative should not be a part of your sentences, okay? Use descriptive words to describe what those words mean. Okay, let's jump into this and talk through it. The first part is salary. All right, we are going to assume that the high school graduate, for the sake of this project, earns $30,000. Everybody in this project is going to use that same value for the high school graduate. Now, for the college graduate, you are going to use the salary for your chosen job. So there is a website here, but you can use any website. Just let me know what you use. So if you decide, I want to be a registered nurse and I really want to live in Seattle, great. Look that up. What is the median salary for a registered nurse in Seattle? Use that for your project. If that's what you want to do, you're dreaming of future you. Just let me know where you got that information, okay? And so the first thing you're going to do is find your salary, and then we're going to complete section 1 of the template. So let's go ahead and do that. The college graduate. Let's say that I don't know, I want to work somewhere and I'm going to earn $500,000. I always pick something outlandish because I don't want to give away any answers. But we know the high school graduate earns $30,000. Now let's think about absolute change. Remember that absolute change is new minus old, final minus initial. We talked about it a couple different ways. And you'll notice in this, it says high school to college graduate. That means the college graduate is considered new. So I'm going to use formulas because, again, it's all about formulas. If the college graduate is new, I'm going to just click on it. Notice when I clicked on it, it's got that like rotating line. And I'm going to subtract the high school graduate. So it shows the formula B2 minus D2, enter. And as a college graduate, being, lead astronaut for NASA, I'm going to earn $470,000 more than a high school graduate. Okay. Now we know for relative change, this is all from section 7, relative change is the absolute change divided by the old. Okay, so you're going to do F2 divided by D2, and that gives you your relative change. So as a college graduate, I'm going to earn 1,566.67% more than the high school graduate. Now, one thing I want to say from right here, I'm going to use autofill because I'm using formulas. I'm going to click on F2, drag over to G2. You'll notice how they are now in the same green rectangle. In the lower right-hand corner, you see it, that green square. If I put my cursor right over that, it becomes a black plus sign. I'm going to click and drag. And you might say, well, Becky, that has done nothing for me. True, but if I put numbers in any of these, notice how they auto-populate. And that's what we want, okay? We want things to auto-populate. So I'm just going to delete the lines I don't need. And now we can go through and fill other things out. For section 1, monthly salary, if I know my annual salary, well, then I can just take my annual, there are 12 months in a year, and now I have my monthly, or my monthly salary. So if I do that for both of these, again, you can see how my absolute and relative change automatically fill in, okay? I have completed the first part of this piece. I come back and now I can answer the questions. What job have you chosen and why? That's my favorite question to grade. And then compare your salary, college graduate to high school graduate. Absolute and relative change statements. Take the numbers from the Excel document and put them into complete sentences, okay? Then we go to part 2. Assume you're planning on spending a certain amount of income towards a mortgage. The terms of the mortgage are 7% for 30 years, and you're going to spend 32% of your monthly on your mortgage. Okay, let's go back to the spreadsheet. I'm not going to do the whole thing for this, but I'm going to just walk you through a little. The percent of the salary to the mortgage, we are going to spend 32% of, remember that of means to multiply, of the monthly salary. So 32% of my monthly salary tells me I can afford a $13,000 house payment. That's a lot. Okay, now let's get to the mortgage. And this gets us into the formulas. We want to know the value of the house. the present value of the house. So we're going to use the PV formula. This is in your workbook. All of these Excel formulas are in your workbook in in lesson 5, okay, unit 5. Well, whatever it is, 12, 13, 14, whatever. Okay, so the first part is the interest rate, 7%. We do this monthly, so I divide by 12. How many payments am I going to make? The middle part is the payments. Well, there's 12 months in a year, and this is a 30-year loan. Okay, so the first part, interest, divided by 12, because there's 12 months in a year. The middle, 12 months in a year, times 30 years in the loan. And then the last piece, you're going to do minus that payment. Okay, so I just clicked on B5 because that's my monthly payment. And that tells me the value of a house I can afford. So I can afford, a little over a $2 million house. You're going to do the same thing for the high school graduate, and then we can compare. So we go back, we answer the question. How much house can a college graduate afford? How much house can a high school graduate afford? Same idea. With retirement, it's almost the same as the mortgage. The percent of retirement. Okay, well, what percent of the month? You're going to type it in. With retirement, you're going to use the FV function, future value. Looks very similar to the mortgage. I can't do it all for you. You got to do something. Okay, so you'll do the retirement very similar to the mortgage, and you'll answer the questions. Section 4. So for those of you who have watched this far, this is where it's going to be worth it. In section 4, we talk about salary increases at 1.75% each year. How long will it take for that to double, right? To be twice as much? Well, in section 9, we talked about what we call the rule of doubling. And if you didn't watch all of the videos in section 9, you might not remember this. But the rule of doubling will allow you to type in 2 numbers into your calculator and get the answer for this. Okay, the other way is to use exponent. It's really long and it's hard. So if you don't know what I'm talking about when I say the rule of doubling, go back to section 9 in the module. Section 9, just show you. Go back to the modules. You're going to go, it'll be in module 3. Module 3, go into the videos of section 9. Section 9 videos, scroll down, and you're going to see the rule of 70, the rule of doubling. This video right here will give you the easiest and quickest way to do section 7. Okay, now I know it says complete section 4 of the template. If you do this the easy way, there is no section 4. That's why there's nothing in color. You don't need to use the template. Also, don't overthink it. When you do this and you're like, if the high school and the college graduate get the same raise, trust yourself, okay? Trust yourself. But that's the way to do it. Rule of 70, watch this doubling video from section 9. It'll be worth it, okay? And then the last question is just give your advice. What would you do? That's it, okay? So that's project 2. Just like in project 1, if you want me to check your Excel document, send it to me via email, and I'll check it and let you know if you have mistakes or anything. Otherwise, let me know how I can help. Thanks.